So in this chapter, I'm going to teach you one of the wonderful concept called arrays. Let's take first and small intro. Suppose if I want to create one variable of type int, what do? I'll say int num1, right? If I want to create two variables, maybe num2. If I want to create three variables, num3. If you want to create 100 variables, will we keep going like this? Obviously no, isn't it? So this is where arrays comes into our rescue. If I want to create more than one variable in one shot, in one single line, then I can simply make use of arrays. How? Like this. Int, let's say array equal to new int. Here you have to specify the size of the array. That is how many variables you want. I'll say 10. So what happens in the memory now? So there are memories allocated for 10 variables of type int. Like this. Around 10 memory locations. And there are 10 variables are created. Those 10 variable names are array of 0, array of 1, array of 2, and so on. Array of not 10, it is 9. Is it clear? 0 to 9, total 10 variables. So it is like creating int num1, int num2, int num3, like the 10 variables you create. Same way here, in one shot, just by coding like that, what we have done, we are able to create total 10 variables in short. In place of int, you can use boolean, string, character, maybe primitive data type, or any of the 8 primitive data types or user defined data type. So if you say string, 10 variables of type string gets created with the name array of 0, array of 1, array of 2, which is pointing to the location where the memory is assigned for a string variable. So how do we access this memory location here? Let's say an array of 1 now I want to assign. Let's say 1000. So what happens now? How do I do that? Simple. I can say array of 1 equal to 1000. If I print array of 1, I'll get the output as 1000. Clear? Now let me print some other variables without initializing them. Let's say array of, I'll print 0, then array of 2, array of 0, array of 2. So what's happening here? They are getting the 0. But if I have, suppose int num1, and if I say println num1, what do you think will be the output? You should be giving a right answer now. If you have attended all the videos, classes, everything properly, and if you note down every notes, then you should be knowing the answer for this. If your answer is 0, then you are utterly wrong. Why? Is a variable we created inside, then compiler will give us an error if you don't initialize it before you use it. So if I compile this, I'll get an error saying that variable num1 might not have been initialized. So what I should do now? I have to initialize with some value. But when it comes to this, array of 0 we haven't initialized. Array of 0 or array of 2 or array of any other value, we are getting the output as 0. The reason is because, now listen to this, important. Whenever new keyword is used in Java, we say that new object gets created. So when we create an array here, basically, you see this, the object name here is actually array. Array itself is the object name. Through the index value 0, 1, 2, 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, we are accessing the different memory locations. So when the object like this gets created, the members get initialized also. What do you mean by members here? Array of 0, array of 1, array of 2, array of 9, all these things guys can be called as members. Who is initializing? This is initialized by a guy called constructor. So what is this? All this constructor, all of a sudden a brand new concept. So don't worry about that now. Just for now, understand that when you create an array, not only the memory gets allocated like this, but they get initialized also. On top of this, what we have done, we initialize array of 1 equal to 1000. So here all the remaining values will be 0. but only the array of 1 is 1000. So this is a very basic introduction to arrays. And same way, for an example sake, let me create one more array. I will say boolean. I'll add the square brackets here and I will say b array equal to new boolean. I'll specify the size. Let me specify the size as 3. So how many variables are created here? Total 3 variables of type boolean is created when this statement is executed. And what is the name of those 3 variables? It is b array of 0, b array of 1, b array of 2. And without initializing, if I print it, it will be initialized with false. Boolean arrays are initialized with false. Array of 0, 1, 2. If I say b array of 3, I will get an index out of bounds error. Why? Size is 3. Variable names are ranges from 0 to 2. So let me, at least for b array, for 1 I will assign the value as b array of 1 equal to, I will assign true. So I should see the output as false, true, false. False, true, false. Is it clear? So to summarize, what are the things we studied? We studied we can create an array using new keyword, and we can access the variables which are created using index value. So here we specify the size. And we also studied that whenever the new keyword is used, new object is created. That means when we create an array, we are actually creating an object. But I will explain you about the objects later, that is in the class and objects chapter of core Java. That will be the next immediate chapter after Java basics. Once you understand that, this concept becomes more clear. So don't worry about that for now. And when the array is created, not only the memory is allocated, but they get initialized also. They get initialized with what? They get initialized with 0 for numeric types, false for boolean type, then /u 0000 for character type, and null for user defined data type. All these things explained in the respective notes. But the one which I supposed to explain, the lesson 3, I have already explained here itself. In the next lesson, we will study another way of creating the array, that is called as array initializers.